Okay, welcome to the stream. Welcome. So this is gonna be like a work stream / politics stream. So I think I will be making improvements for the graph in the left here, and also I'm available to discuss about climate change stuff or this emission statistics or whatever. So yeah, I've been making this kind of like circular graph stuff every now and then, and they've sometimes gotten like nice traction on social media, and I also have the idea to make like a website where you can choose what kind of like variables you are showing here. Like here we have the greenhouse gas emissions, but you could also show, like, for example, like life expectancy or like birth rate or something like that. I made those kind of graphs as well, so the user could select what value is being shown, like what or what kind of like variable is being shown, and for also like for emission statistics, there's also the like here's that greenhouse gas emissions, but it could also be like just CO2. Like I have here like CO2. There's this like some like skin color dots here on top of the bars. So, but you could also like choose to show only those, and here also like maybe have the option to show the land use emissions and then like the whatever, like the net emissions and stuff like that. But then you could also choose, like here I have the comparison year 2012, so you could change the comparison year, for example, and you could draw the graph in different language as well. So that's like another thing that I'm thinking, that you could have a choice there. Yeah, but and I've been like trying to make the code that produces the graph a little bit to the direction that it could allow this interactivity with so I'm doing this in R language, and in R there is this library called Shiny, which allows making this kind of dashboard web pages where the user can like tick boxes and drag sliders and stuff like that. So and with those like dashboard options, they could choose what data is shown in the graph and how the data is shown in the graph. So for example, one selection would be language. So here I have like, so, and then the code would have, I have here already written that like if the language is Finn, then I just like change the one variable here that is like determining like this country names here, for example, and the continent variable here, or so it would choose like it would change to different language. And I think this could also be done a little bit more eloquently. Like, let's see, we could also try this out now. Like, there's like here's this is basically the okay, and it's not this one, but here there's this country code command, so it takes a country name here in English, and then it produces it in Finnish. Here is that .fi, so I could change here another language, so I could have it in Swedish or whatever. So we could maybe test it out now, like if we can change here. So let's bring this here. So now we have here in English, and I just have here like in the data I have, let's see, let's open the data here. I have one column here which is the country name, but like here, which is now, these are like in Finnish now, but this would be quite laborsome to do in like if I just have, for example, like for every language I would have a different column here, and that would get like a too heavy data set, so it would be easier to do here. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go do that right now. Like one thing that I've been has been interesting to me is like how to have this legend. So I've now like placed these kind of like I've made this like explainer text kind of like in this kind of custom manner, but I don't think it's really working out. So I think it has to be a separate thing, but then I'm not sure. And I would like to get back to this. Let's see, I'm gonna show here. Like I have here, there's some older graph, and I know this is like many years old, and I've been kind of trying to improve on this over the years, but now I notice that there are many things here that are actually better than I have on my newer stuff. For example, here, like the labels, like instead of having just coloring out like so that Africa is written in orange and Americas is written in green, it's better to have these boxes here. I think it gives the better idea. I think it's easier connecting to make. And another thing is like, yeah, there's these arrows are better here, and it's nice to have these explanations for the arrows and stuff like that. So but now I think the problem here, we're kind of like making this kind of like generalized can make this kind of like where the user can select stuff, and there becomes this vast space of options, and it makes it easier to do, like for example the language thing, like if I write something here, I have here carbon dioxide emissions, it just fits here. But now what if the translation, the text is bigger there, like how do I handle this? And for example the other variable, like it might have a like a longer need like a longer title for the explanation as well. So this is a bit tricky. So what we are And I think it's tricky also, like, can I get it to this kind of like a circular thing, or do I have to have a box here in the top left or something? Like, what's the solution here? Like, is like I think I could make like a square box. So I could have just like everything a little bit smaller so that it would fit in the square box, and then I would have the square box there in the middle. So that could be like the solution. I could have the, I don't know. But I also like what I have here in the current graph. I like that I have here on the top left, I have this like progress over time graph. So it would be, but yeah, I think like for now, like I think today, but I'm a little bit torn between, like, I want to do this graph now, like this is for quite topical for the EU elections. Like I think like my main message with this graph here now is that like the emissions in European Union countries and European Union on average are higher than the world average emissions, and so that's gonna, I think that's kind of like gives the message that we in the European Union, we still have to do more stuff than what we are already, like we cannot like go around that like the Europe is doing already enough, like it's time for other countries to do stuff, like that's not like like our emissions are still like higher than average, so I don't think that's like and I think even if like we go below the average, there's still like this we still have the fact that we have like such a high GDP in Europe, it means that we have the ability to lower. It is like relatively cheaper for us. Like it doesn't take, like in percentage terms, it doesn't take so much of our money to reduce emissions because we are so rich, and it doesn't that's kind of like the also one basic idea, and I have another kind of graph for that also, but and sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna go for that topic, but yeah, but I think let's think about placing that, if we can make the so let's see. So we're gonna try to play around with the, because I haven't really used the legend command in ages, and Allow values for legend positions are left, top, right, bottom. Okay, but here, yeah, this one here, 0 point, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. So what if we have here? So this is the first one is X. So let's try to put it like on top right. Let's see what happens. Where does it go? And what values will be in the okay, I don't think we are seeing it anywhere. Let's try. And now I'm also thinking like, should I use here? Okay, let's try here something else. Do I need to use the group command for the legend to work? Like, it's been so long time since I've been using this legend stuff, so let's see what happens. This yeah, I'm still not seeing it anywhere, but so yeah, let's let's see if I have okay, here's also like legend position command, but I don't think it's showing anywhere either. Then I also have to wonder that it might be on the, it might be that it gets it goes below this new thing that we have drawn here. That's also like one option here. We are not seeing it. I'm gonna take this off. This goes here. It might also be that it is somewhere under, that it is so let's try something like so what's a little bit annoying about this stuff is that it takes a little bit too long for me to draw everything. Let's see. So it wouldn't happen here unless I have here like this is for wonder if I put some stuff here. Okay. Did I just... What did I click? This was the earlier one, yeah. Yeah, it's still not nowhere to be seen. I don't really know where. There's also like legend text here. There's legend title. I'm just thinking like where could it be that it's not showing? Maybe I should do some other stuff. I don't. There's. Okay. Let's try to finish. I don't know. Let's see what do I want to do. Maybe I should think about like this. How do I do this? Do I want to do some kind of box here? I think like besides this legend thing I have to think about. And I could do kind of like the legend also like on my own terms. I just think it could be easier. And even if I do the legend thing, I have the kind of like those boxes for the colors. I still need to figure out how to get all the text stuff here besides these colored stuff. Like where do I put all of the stuff? It could also be that I have I want to have here like more stuff also. Like there's this issue that there's already quite a lot of stuff and I want to have more stuff. So what do I do? Can I show again like one of the earlier ones? So yeah, here like I have the data here below. I could do this same thing that I have like kind of like this short form data. It could also be nice to have like I don't know what. So here, like I have emissions. Could I have? Yeah. This was also like I remember like this was so painful to get get the arrow thing and the texting. I was somehow like trying to get them in the same. Okay, that's annoying. I don't know if I can hear this, but there's some drilling going on. I wonder if I have this old code somewhere. I'm gonna check. I don't know if the how much does the mic pick up on the tree? I think it picks up quite a bit. I can see it in the that's annoying. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find this. Let's have a think. Okay, if the drilling doesn't end soon, I'm gonna end the stream. Well, let's do something like let's try to get these arrows like better arrows here. So I've been using this. Also, I'm interesting here. Like this was such a pain to get this text to fit, but is there a nice way to have different colored text show up here? Is it also like possible to have this box? Like here. Okay, let's try some stuff actually here, because this could be very helpful in the future. So now I have these arrows. They are like they are separate from the there's this command is for like basically like the red arrows here, I think, and then there's separate command for like flags and for numbers and stuff like that. So it could be nice to have, like, for example, so I I could have the arrows and the numbers in a same command here. So let's Google this, because I want to. There's these Unicode characters, so I want to have like a ticker. How do I get the ticker? Okay, here's a block of arrows. Okay, let's. So are there some? But if I use, okay, I try to use font faces bold here, but it's not working. So okay, there's white arrows. So what do I have? 2192. I have like here this one, and it's a downward arrow. So I have no, it's a rightwards arrow, and I think I have like, yeah, I have like just like a different angle for it. Yeah, but let's try to find a ticker. Upwards double arrow, rightwards. Let's try this double arrow. So let's try like 21D2. See what we get. So it's it's kind of weird. It's I don't think it's gonna like it doesn't adhere to the same kind of same like direction. Rightwards double arrow. That's rightwards arrow. Why is it like? Why is it so different? Let's try this one. 2-1 EB. And let's okay. It's also like I think it's just it doesn't. I think the angle command doesn't work at all for this one for some reason. I don't know. Everything is just like it always points upwards. So why is this more flexible? This and why can I cannot get like a thicker? What makes it so different? 2192. It's like browser. Okay, here's like again like arrows, block and plane. Let's see what's in the plane. Yeah, this is like probably blocks. What is this? Unicode. So these are. That's like the main category. So let's see here like arrows, supplemental arrows, B. So I'm guessing this is maybe the same block that we had before. Yeah, it looks totally the same because this is like a standard or something. But let's see, what about the supplemental arrow? Do we have like thick arrows here? And like double arrow. Yeah, we have long arrows, but we don't. Okay, let's try this quadruple arrow. To 7F. Like if we have like some kind of like that, it's just like a wrong direction. I think that can be fixed. Supplemental arrows. right towards double arrow from bar. This seems a little bit promising. Okay, this is just some weird stuff. I don't gonna get. Can I actually have this somewhere else? Let's try something. So if we don't need all this here. Okay, let's try here. Come on. Okay, here. And then I have let's spin you there like that. Okay, let's try this. Right force double. Let's try this too. And I don't know, like these don't like. Some of these they don't seem to work anyway, like that they show up in the page. And I don't know, like here for example, like it just produces this kind of block. It just doesn't work. 2907. There's all this like stuff, but I cannot find the stuff that I'm looking for. So it's like miscellaneous symbols. I think this is this might make it really hard to find. Left forwards black arrows. There's white and black arrows. I'm not. But here I could find. Triangle headed arrow. I also wonder, like, what if I like if this font face is bold stuff? Is this like this could be affecting something like in the wrong way? I think. So I'm gonna see. Oh yeah. I think that might have been a problem. But again here, like I would just want it to be. Is there? I don't want it to be like this kind of semi-invisible thing. But if I make it bigger, it doesn't. I don't think it makes it like fatter, like the way I want. Okay, here I think these seem nice. Let's see. Okay, but these are even nicer maybe. But yeah, here this kind of like stuff. This is yeah, that's not this kind of stuff. It's this arrow. Okay, it's arrowhead, so this might work pretty well. 2B9E. Let's try. go. Okay, yeah, that's pretty nice. It's a little bit. I would want it to be a little bit thinner, actually. A little bit smaller, but I think it is more like. It is a lot more visible than the green arrows that we have there. What if we make it just a little bit smaller? I think it might do the trick. I also wonder if having it go right is it causing some issues? Like, would it work better here if it was like it's not like total. It doesn't look centered to me. It looks that it's a little bit to the right or to the left from the center. It's the same here. Yeah, it's a little bit to the left. No, it's like, I wonder what's. Let's try this one here also. It might be that this might work out if I try to do 2BC 8. Let's see. Okay, so now I have okay, but I have the font face. Let's take it off. Yeah, I'm not sure if I need explanation for these arrows, but maybe. Oh, this looks nice. It's not totally centered, and I think it's a little bit tricky that the shape. It's very hard to kind of like get the idea of like what is the orientation of the thing. Let's try it. This upward pointing. What do we have? Okay, but this says black. What's is black just like a word for? Because I'll be coloring it. So the coloring it actually works. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I wonder if we just go with these ones. But let's try 2B9D. Then we just have to. We might have to turn this angle a little bit. Yeah. Do we have it? No, not yet. It's just like a different angle now. I think it's still to the left. So what do I have here as so I have h just is 0. This is so what if I have 0.5? I don't think it should affect. So this is now the red one. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Okay, there's this. What? Why do we have this V just is 0.3? shouldn't it be 0.5? Or maybe this is the problem actually. Let's see. So is this centered now? It could be centered, but let's try this. Okay, no, it's the red one. Let's again try the red one with the right one. Hello, inappropriate innuendo. What's up? Okay, I think now the center, I think I just had for because of somehow the other arrow didn't work for this, so I just had it. So let's go with this now. Okay, so if this works now, so now the arrow should be centered better, I think. I just want some internet points, and I've been posting this on like Twitter and Reddit before. They got quite a lot of reactions, and here I have like a focus on Europe, Euro countries, European Union countries here on the yellow. So I kind of like want to convey a message that and here's like the world average on white, the white bar here. So I want to convey a message that the emissions in European Union, the per capita emissions, they are still higher than the world average, even though we have there's like a more clear downward trajectory in European countries. But it's kind of like the message that we shouldn't, like, there's a lot of this I think like many people are saying that we should now wait for the other countries to start working on climate, like we have done enough already or whatever, but we are still, our emissions are still higher than the world average. So and of course it's I get the like the idea that for richer countries, which the European countries are, that kind of like increases emissions, like the yeah, and because we are rich, kind of like we have the ability that we can consume more and produce more because we are rich, and that like increases emissions. But for the climate change to stop, we need to reach, like, the richest countries have to be in the forefront. Like it is cheaper for us to reduce emissions, and I've been making another graph also, like showing this kind of like link between GDP and emissions, and kind of like it has to like turn the other way around. The link has to turn the other way around. That's also like kind of like other message that I kind of like want to but it needs another graph. Yeah, the China argument, and like part of that I have China here on the 10.3. like China emissions are, it's only been like few years that China's emissions have been higher than the EU emissions, and it is also like we have to lower emissions, but we also have to get other countries to lower their emissions, and China is there too. And like part of the problem is also that we are gonna like we consume those products that China produces. Like we have like some of the like we would have higher emissions if China didn't produce those cars or whatever, because then they would be produced here, and we would have those emissions. Like, so some of the emissions are gonna like are like in China are because of us, and we have to kind of like and EU is doing like we are like in 2027 we are starting this carbon border adjustment mechanism, so we are gonna like taxing the import emissions, and I think that's a good thing, and that's a nice it should also encourage other countries to price their emissions and lower their emissions more. Yeah, I think Canada also has like a little bit of I think like same trickiness that we have in Finland. Like you have like long distances, and then you have cold winters, so that's also like there's some of those emissions are hard to avoid, but we are also like getting better. Like here like electric cars are coming, and they are like getting quite popular in Finland, so that helps a lot for like this like traveling the distances, and we have a like of course like I think we have a like better train network than Canada and whatever, and then we also have like we are getting these using more electricity for heating in the future, and the Finnish electricity is already very clean, so that's gonna work out quite well. I'm not sure, like yeah, Canada is quite high up here, I think. Yeah, they are like here in the 17.8 compared to the EU average 7.72, so it's more than double. It's also of course like you have also this curse of high GDP, so it's like you're saying, like there's this lots of consumption, you have lots of ability to consume, so it's a little bit, but yeah, but it's also like I have here like this percentage, like how much you have reduced since 2010, so you have reduced 15% from 2012 to 2022, and I think like I like Canada. You are also like quite together with EU quite in the forefront of this carbon pricing, which I like as an economist myself quite a bit. So you have, I think you did it with we have like mostly like in EU we have the emission trading system, and you have the carbon tax, or it might have been that you have like for each province or whatever it is territories that they kind of like get to choose. Okay, yeah, that sounds depressing. Yeah, I think the European election, like we have a European parliamentary election in 1 month about, so there's also gonna be more. It's not gonna be so favorable for climate policy. The next, is it 4 years that we have the parliamentary period, or 5 years? But it's not gonna be as, yeah. Yeah, okay, but that's a sad that if it's gonna be like totally removed, and I have got this idea that there's lots of resistance for the carbon tax, and I was also hopeful. I think, did you have this system that you this carbon dividend system that you divide the kind of like the revenues from the carbon tax like equally across the citizens? I think you might have had this, or maybe it was just okay, yeah, low CO2, yeah, okay, yeah, so it's like that, yeah. Yeah, because I've been kind of like optimistic that if you have this thing that it shows like on your bank account that you are getting money from the government, that okay, this then you get like notice you better notice the positive side of this carbon taxing, that it also brings this revenue and this money. And but I wonder if the low CO2 users, are they like in any more favor of this system than the high CO, if the high CO2 users don't get and they also like, but I wonder if we are like low CO2 users, is it also like to just give it out to poorer people, because that's like a big correlation there. Okay, I'm gonna fix these sizes. Yeah. But yeah, I'm worried about like the I think like last like whatever 4 years or something, that is that like the general like worry about climate change has declined, and we have this COVID pandemic, and then we have this war stuff and stuff like that. So I think people have more pressing issues, although like in my view, like climate change is kind of like it's gonna be like a crisis multiplier or crisis magnifier. It's gonna like make the probability of like any conflicts more likely, like because of the bad stuff that it's gonna cause, especially like in Africa and like in warm countries. Yeah. Yeah, that's very catchy. Axe the tax. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they had something like something quite catchy, like also in the Brexit or something, or maybe it's just the Brexit or whatever. Like this kind of like that. It's kind of like appealing like populist sentiments and whatever. Yeah, that's a bit too catchy. Let's see what I was about to do next. Yeah, I think I want to try the different language version now, maybe. So I want to do this both in English and in Finnish. So I'm just. So is there so if I change the language to Finnish, could I have here that? So we have. Yeah, also like one motivation for the graph is like to show that there's so big differences between countries that I think people don't really. And also like I think these arrows, like where is the. It's a little bit like, I think it used to be a little bit more so that like, and then there is still that like the general trend that the high emission countries, they are decreasing their emissions, they have the green arrows, and the low emission countries, they are increasing their emissions, they have the so it's kind of like converging to this kind of mean, and it makes sense in a lot of ways because of also like the GDP growth generally is higher in poorer countries that have lower emissions and stuff like that. There's this convergence, and that's a good thing, like the GDP convergence and kind of like this lifestyle conversions and stuff like that. But it's also kind of like it can make it, yeah. But still like we are taking more like the Western rich countries. We are gonna like we are now being like worse than average, so we need to kind of like because the poor countries are also rising up here, and yeah, it's, I don't know, but yeah, something also about like this, the differences. The difference, like here I have the like all of the greenhouse gases, but if I only show CO2, then the differences are even higher. I think the other greenhouse gases, they come quite a lot from like agriculture and stuff like that, and even the poorer countries, they have quite a lot of agriculture, so they have these methane emissions and stuff like that, but they don't, many of these, they don't have like a lot of production, so they have very low CO2. But yeah. Okay, let's try this. So instead of this, that we have like different columns, so we're gonna like just change it on the fly here. So origin, country name, and destination is the country name in Finnish. So okay, so let's try it. We change the language to Finnish, and then we're run this. Okay, country, source varmasti character or numeric vector. Yeah, okay, I think I have to change this to data frame first. I think that's so, and then I change it back. This might be the case. Okay, I think it works. So okay, now let's see if we get this in Finnish or not. No, still in English, but I think something happened here. The blue line dropped there for some reason, but it's still in okay, let's see, do we have the, so where do we have this, where do we have here in those like country name texts? So I think it's it might be here. Yeah, there's country here, so it should be just okay. Oh, okay, yes, this is the issue here, I think. Let's yeah, we just have here, just using like wrong, so we just have to put here counts. Where do we stop using the, okay, so we just replace all this. Okay, let's try again. Okay, it works. So now we have here Canada with a K, and we have, okay, but it doesn't work. Okay, we don't have a translation for European Union, and we don't have translation for world. So we're gonna just add those. It's kind of like a specialties here. So but no. Oh, let's. It's a little bit tricky now, like, because now they are just. I cannot call them by. I should use the. So what are here the. I need the ISO codes. So here's like EU. So if we have then we have country. So Euroopan unioni. Then we have I think this might be like world or something. Let's try WD. Okay. Can only be used with Dynamo. Okay. Yeah, I changed here. This first data table operation. Okay, but now everything else is. Why did some of these go missing now? It's a bit weird, like some. It's like all of the sudden, like some like 20% of the country names are missing, and there seems to like there's no logic. Like what country, or is it actually no? What countries are missing? Or what? These are like NA names. It might be here actually the issue that it doesn't recognize their, because they have been translated to Finnish, and now it tries to translate them again to Finnish, but they have been already translated, so it doesn't understand. So I have to change this here, like this origin to this ISO. Let's see. There's like. Okay, we have to have like destination. So origin is ISO 3S, and then we have here also ISO 3C. So it's ISO 3C. Let's see. Okay, now it works. So now I would also need to translate this stuff here. I'm like wondering, like, how do I want to do this? Yeah, did we get all the countries? Because sometimes. Yeah, there's some NA here, I think. I don't know what's the fuck. There's like one country missing. I don't think that's too bad. Yeah. So So inappropriate innuendo, are you generally how interested in the climate change stuff? Like, do you do any climate change stuff yourself or something? Like, are you activist or anything, or in politics? Yeah, that's a good choice. It also I also like try to at least do that also, and I like it how it also saves some money, and I'm now also like in a job where I can like be in like part-time, like so there's the like the option to work less and earn less, but then if I don't use so much money, then I have more spare time, and it's nice to have more spare time. So and of course you can maybe do this in like, yeah, I don't know, even if you don't have this flexibility like outright, then you can like maybe retire earlier or whatever. I don't know. And there's also of course like always use this for money, like even if you don't use it for consumption. Yeah, or like you can like, of course there's so much different kinds of consumption, like you can have there's like but yeah, that's a good. So yeah, I think I would add here. Where I wonder where did it's still missing the European Union here. Like for some reason it just went missing. Oh, I think it has to do with because I refer it to here, so I should just like refer to everything with these ISO codes, because they remain the same. And now I don't. So the goal here is that like every time this data is updated or something, or I just want to change some little thing, so I could use almost the same code to make both the Finnish and English version. So I just change here language to English or language to Finnish, and then I get the same. That's the only thing I need to change, and then I get the both versions at the same time. That's like the end goal here. And as I was speaking like in the beginning of the stream, I want to make this kind of website where everyone could create these kind of graphs with their chosen variables. So it could be greenhouse gas emissions, but it could also be like GDP or life expectancy or whatever, birth rates, maybe some happiness statistics or something like that. But so they could be this kind of like dashboard applications that would also produce these graphs. So you can choose the variables, and then you could choose, for example, this like what's the comparison year if you want to show this progress, and yeah, stuff like that. And if you want to highlight some like here, like I have highlighted EU countries. So if you could, I've done this before for I have like different continents here or whatever. You could also like for this like the color of the bars. You could also have like here. I could have here for the color of the bars. So, for example, that I could have like a dark green color for or the shade of the green could indicate the GDP of the country. So then you would get the general. So if it's a dark green, then it's a high GDP country, and if it's a light green, then it's a low GDP country, and then you could have this continuous spectrum of green for the color of the bars. So so then you could see that, like, okay, in general there are these high income countries that these tall bars, they are also very dark green, and these low bars, they are light green. So you could get from here also the general. So you could choose like how to color the bars. Basically, that's the. You could also like maybe some other variable, like for example, yeah, the. I don't know. It's maybe yeah, but you could use like the user could choose like how to make comparisons. And I've been kind of like meaning to, because it would be nice to get it on my own use to like to more easily like produce graphs, but also then like someone else could use it too, as if I put it online. And maybe I don't know if it would be difficult to like I could have for like such a thing that it's the at least all the country names could be had, so you could select the language, any language, and it would change the, or at least these country names for that language. But I'm not sure about all of this other stuff. Like, could I use some like Google Translate, like I don't know. But yeah, one more thing that I wanted to do with this language thing is that, so if we have we have the decimal mark. So if we have in Finnish we have a comma for decimal, and if we have in English we have a dot for decimal. And I'm not actually sure about, like, I think I read somewhere that in Europe in general I think we might use those commas for decimals. Like in North America the decimal is like is to separate like a thousands. It's like a thousand separator. But here it's for kind of like a, I don't know, decimal. So now if we use this deci, and then we have here, we have the decimal mark here. So if we put here, just write deci here because we have defined it somewhere else there. So we just replace all of this. Okay, let's try. Okay, now we also got the European Union thing. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, I think it seems to work, yeah. Yeah, but I'm not sure about like the English thing, that like should I still use the commas as decimal if I don't know, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna show like So this is why this is how we do it. Yeah, this is yeah, I'm just kind of like yeah, this can be a little bit especially like the comma thing. It can cause some issues sometime. Yeah, and I'm not sure like which one is the better of those systems. Like this is not kind of like a yeah, it's not like the thousand separator just leaving the blank space. It's not. It can also cause some issues sometimes. Like it's not like okay. Let's yeah. I think this is where we are. Like this is where we have it like best. Like this is like April 16th. I think I know. I think in America it's like I think you do something like, or in North America you do something like this maybe. Let's see. This is my guess of the American, or just like but the point is that you have the month and date and then year, and it doesn't really make sense. Like it's like because you go it's yeah that's a bit stupid, like I would say, because it changes the order from not like we have it like from this like. So what's measurement? Are we talking about the metric system now? That's that. Like if you want to like or okay, you can show the example. Like what do you mean by measurements? There's a bit of annoyance here with those. Yeah, imperial. Okay, let's do some. Yeah, this is. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, this is like distance. Yeah, but you get the same thing. Like I think there was some other. Yeah, besides like yeah, of course, like yeah. Yeah. Yeah, also same with the weight also, like we have we have these grams and stuff. Like I think like is Canada something like, I think you have the metric system, but you also do you kind of like have both like do you use a little bit of both systems? Like this is my impression that you have like a little bit of that, like because you are so close to US that you are exposed to a lot of the imperial system also. Yeah, that's that's annoying. Yeah, there's a nice there's a Finnish stand-up comedian who does stand-up in US. I think I'm gonna give it if you want to check out on YouTube, but I think he has some imperial system or criticizing the imperial system, but yeah. It's nice. Yeah, but I think the imperial system is kind of it's a little bit kind of it's got an indication of American stubbornness, maybe that, and of course also even if it's there, but if you get too much used to it, then it's hard to change it. But I get like some countries, yeah, it's a little bit same as we have some of the countries are left side driving, so they drive like in England they drive on the left side. They used to drive also on the Sweden, but they changed it at some point. But it's a hard transition. But once you make it, it's gonna work out in the long run. But I think Americans are a bit stubborn to get this. But yes, annoying with this. I don't know if there's like a solution here, but here in the parentheses you have these. Some of these are there's this empty spaces in the plus. I don't know how to fix this, because where do I get this? When do I have this? There's this. But that's maybe I'll see if I can. Yeah, here. So if we have a positive, if there's increase in emissions, we have to add this plus sign, because otherwise it would just be without the plus sign. If there's a decrease, we don't have to add the minus sign, because it's like it becomes inherently from the calculation. But I don't think this is. I was wondering, if we have these minuses, I don't think they have this minus stuff. They don't have this problem of, or actually they do have the same problem, but it's just it's in the, it's just in a different spot. I think the issue has something to do with that, if some countries have double digit decrease, it kind of the system somehow wants to leave the same amount of space for all the other countries, change label or something like that, and I don't know why it does that, but I think it just does it. And actually I think I wonder if it's, yeah, so there should be some way to maybe go around this thing. So we have here, we have this format. So then I think it's coming from this format command, this issue. Yeah. So let's just Google if let's see. So so our format command empty space. Let's see. Trim. Okay, this is just like a totally different command, I think. What does this do? Okay, let's try this trim command. If this, I don't know if this does it, but so we add it. Is this like? Oh, this is specifically for Qatar, so we don't want to. So. This is like all, like, because we had to make the exception for Qatar because they are so high up there. So, but I think it's here. Okay, so let's try to add it here. I don't understand why wouldn't, if this works, like why wouldn't they have it like on by default? Okay, do we have it might work actually. So yeah, so we don't have those empty spaces now. It makes it a lot nicer to read. Yeah, that was simple as that. I'll have to use this elsewhere. Okay, what are we gonna do next? Yeah, maybe one thing that if we want to go with I think here if we want to make this into this kind of like general thing where we could also have a variable such as like GDP, for example, and we have like a country that has 200,000. There is some country that has like a $200,000 per capita GDP. So then that like it takes a lot more space than like €200 per GDP, and now we are like currently there's like a same amount of space reserved for the values here that are after the arrow. So think I want to make some kind of like a so detect how many characters are in value, and then so we make this so then we have this variable that's like we would have it according to that. So then it would leave the same amount of space. So let's think where did I had done something where I had been checking these lengths of different I'm looking at no, it's not okay, I think I find it. So let's see. String length. So let's have a so we have just length of this y variable or actually it's the yeah, it's this does it work like this? So let's see what kind of variables do we get. I'm gonna have to is one. Okay, 5. Yeah, it seems to work. So now we have that. So I think there's also one other issue here coming up. Like if we are going to go to this route of that you could have any variable here, not just emissions, that you could have like whatever employment rate or whatever, and that's that. For now I have like the all of these variables just determine that like the placement of everything and how like high up or low this stuff is. It's based on these emission measures. So here like it's the maximum height of 78 for the graph, or that's like the tallest point or whatever. So so now if we have some GDP thing like 200,000 GDPs like now, so we are not like fitting anything here. So and then I just wonder like, could I just change everything to be kind of like relative position? Like here, if we have like the bar for European Union, the height is 7.72. So what if and that's like assuming that the max height of the graph is 78. So if we just like so the so the value so if we would scale it like this, so we would use the scale factor that is so then the y would be multiplied by the scale, so this would make, so now if we would have 100 as the max instead of 78, and we use the scale thing, then we would have, the graph would look exactly the same as it is now, even if the kind of like the underlying numbers change, because we are using the scaling, and this would make it so that so instead of 78 we would have like we would just like recognize what's the maximum value in the data and use that like regardless of what the like the data is. I'm also thinking like because now we have these decimals here, we have like 2 decimals. Like could I also automate this so that it recognizes how many like significant numbers there are, or actually it doesn't. I could just like, because there's probably gonna be like 10 variables or something like that, and I could just determine it for each of those. So then like depending on what variable is used, so we would have so if it is choose the greenhouse gases per capita, then we would have so then we just have like we would have 2 decimals, and then if we have GDP, we would have 0 decimals, and then we put here those selections. So we replace this 1 here with Okay, actually, where do we get this one? Because we are using 2 decimals, so this is different. Okay, but here. Oh yeah, this is for the percentage change. I think that should be kept as like as it is, but here decimals. Okay. Okay, so now we have to set this variable as that, and we have here, yeah, okay. Okay, right. Okay, let's try changing this first. So let's see if this works. That. Yeah. We have 3 decimals. But they are okay, I think here everything ends in 0, so I think I've been doing some or is it the rounding up here? Like there's been like some rounding done already because it's some reason. Because everything ends in 0. But let's change it back to 2 now. So where did I do the rounding? It might have been already in the previous. No. So that's. But I think. Or do we have hit? Yeah, but the scaling thing, I think that's a big. So I think I'm a little bit interested in like if I just use the 100. If I just scale everything to 100. It could also be like. There's also interesting thing about this, or like with this minimum command, I can control because there's this circle here in the center, like how big the circle is. So is the stuff kind of like so if I put here like min is 5. I'm not sure if I can actually run this. All of this now, but let's try. Yeah, we get like this. It kind of like takes less space. So then if we put like 25, so this could also be like something I don't know if I can leave this to the user to choose, because then I think it could be even harder to this seems nicer actually. it could be even harder for the yeah, I'm gonna go with this bigger circle thing, but it could be even harder to, although like now I have to make the font smaller for all of this stuff to fit. Maybe like something in between. But yeah, the thing here is that then I have all this, like here, all this font stuff, like how big are the fonts and stuff like that, so will it fit in the screen? Or could I also like make, like now here, like when I make this bigger, this circle, then I would have to always make the font smaller, maybe. Or I could also make the, I don't know, so like yeah, so it could like somehow automatically make it smaller, but I don't think it's, I don't know if it's possible to find like a good formula for that, like how to make that. Yeah, then also like all this, like now I'm like I'm cutting a lot of stuff out from the right hand side of the graph, and how does this cutting of stuff out work when I don't really like know how. So if these variables, for example here in the right hand side, if there's a lot more like closer to the ones on the top, or should I just make this into like some kind of square anyway? Yeah, but the point is that like there's gonna be so different different distribution of like how much lower are like here I think the critical ones here, for example, these like you would call this like top 25%, like this Finland and stuff like that. So if I have a different value here, like this could be like now like 12% from the max value for greenhouse gas emissions. But what if it's like for some other thing like life expectancy, it's gonna be like, it could be like 70%, like, so this would be a lot higher, this bar, and then the text would be a lot more to the right. So that's like big problem here. What if I would just make square? I'm just like thinking how would a square. I like this what I have here right now, this aspect ratio. This like the aspect ratio of like A4 or like a aspect ratio of a paper. If you have like A4 sheet of paper, so it could be nice like to print this out or something like that. But I'm not sure if this is best for. So let's try to have a I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this is. I think I'm gonna. Like a little bit too big of an issue all of a sudden. I'm not sure if I want to, because I want to also like get this particular graph done, and so I'm not sure like how much should I now focus on this issue of kind of like how easy it is to reproduce this with other variables. But let's try now. Okay, let's try a little bit like if we would have the same width here. So and we had here 4.2 before. Okay. So now the problem is that it's this lower stuff. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. There's all this empty space here on the left and right, and you have to zoom in to get to read. But I'm not sure like if zooming in is actually such an issue with this stuff anyway. Like you cannot. I think you have to have very good, because I don't think you're gonna like get so much out of this graph without zooming, or you get the like without zooming you get the distribution thing, and it would be also nice to get that without zooming. You would at least get what these colors mean, so you would know that these are the EU countries, these yellow ones, or whatever. But I don't think you're supposed with like without zooming, like it doesn't matter if you don't change that. Yeah, it's even worse with this like because now the it's kind of like graph is quite a bit below the middle point or the center of the graph, because this in the higher in the graph there are these such big values, so that in the lower part of the graph you can fit the country names better. But again, there's gonna be differences here depending on the variable, like life expectancy stuff. Again, it's gonna be quite close. Like there's gonna be like in like top countries, maybe like some 80 or something, and here in the bottom it's still gonna be like 60. So it's not gonna be. It's gonna be very like small difference, and then it would be good if the centering was centered on top here. I'm just thinking that is there can I just make it so complicated that it will kind of like recognize the like I have here for the text. Just here. I can check, like I could check the length of text, and could I then also add to that the length of these columns or these bars, and sorry. And somehow use that to define like how much space is needed in the top and in the bottom and in the right and left for this thing. And here I've also already cheated here, because I haven't the Qatar here is not showing up all the way through, because it's such an outlier. It's such a big emissions to compare to everyone else that I don't want to. Because then if I gotta like show it in full here, it's gonna make everything so small, everything else so small, that it's almost just gonna be like a black graph instead of all this nice colored bars here. So would I also have to make some kind of thing to handle the outliers in like some kind of, I don't know. Okay, but I think I'm gonna end the stream anyway now, because I think this is a little bit much to digest now, and I think I went a little bit. I didn't think I would go so far into this kind of like thinking about this generalization thing, or like how could I make this code so that I could run this on any variables. And there's lots of trickiness here, but it would be very nice if I got it to work, but I'm not sure if I can get. I would say at this point I'm not sure if I can get this to work, or maybe if I got it to work, or it could also mean that I would have to keep some helper, like that the user could control some of the aspects, but it would be too, then it could make it like a little bit too annoying to use. I don't know. There's a trade-off there of like how many options the user would have in the dashboard, and like how easy it is to use and like understandable and stuff like that, but I'm not sure. If I did it just for myself, it would be a different thing also. Okay, but I'm gonna end now. Bye bye.